Whispers of midnight. In the sleepy town of Willowsbrick, nestled deep between the mountains and surrounded by dense forests, life moved at a gentle pace. It was the kind of town where the bakery opened at dawn with the smell of fresh bread, and the streets were empty by 9 in the evening. People lived simple lives, but if you listened closely, you'd hear stories, whispers of things long forgotten and places best left alone. One such place was Blackwood Manor. Perched at the edge of the forest, Blackwood Manor had stood abandoned for over 50 years. Its dark windows stared blankly at the town, and the overgrown ivy seemed to claw at the stone walls. No one remembered who had lived there last, and most were too afraid to venture near it. Except, perhaps, for a group of friends eager for an adventure. Emma, Jake, Lily, and Ben were inseparable, each one complementing the other in their unique way. Emma was the fearless leader with a spark in her eyes, Jake the mischievous daredevil, Lily the cautious yet curious one, and Ben the quiet thinker who often surprised them with his bravery. They spent most of the days exploring the town, climbing trees, and telling ghost stories around campfires. But tonight was different. Tonight, Jake had a plan. The four of them sat huddled in Emma's living room. The warm glow of the fire lit the faces as Jake leaned forward, his voice low and filled with excitement. "I dare us to spend the night at Blackwood Manor." Lily's eyes widened. "Are you serious? No one goes there. It's, well, haunted." Jake grinned. "That's what makes it fun. Imagine the stories we'll have. No one in Willowsbrick has ever done it." Emma smirked. "I'm in. But only if we all agree." Ben, who had been silently sipping his cocoa, shrugged. "Why not? It's just a house." Lily hesitated. She wasn't one for dares, especially ones that involved supposedly haunted houses. But the thought of being left out was worse. "Fine," she said, reluctantly. "But if anything weird happens, we're leaving." With the pack made, they gathered flashlights, blankets, and snacks. The night was cool and crisp as they made their way through the quiet streets of Willowsbrick, the breath visible in the chilly air. The town seemed to hold its breath as they approached the edge of the forest, where Blackwood Manor loomed like a forgotten sentinel. The gate creaked as Emma pushed it open, the sound echoing in the stillness. The path leading to the house was overgrown with weeds, and the old oak trees cast long, twisted shadows under the moonlight. The house itself looked even more imposing up close, its once grand facade now crumbling and forgotten. Jake, ever the brave one, led the way. "See. Nothing to be afraid of," he said, though his voice wavered slightly. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of dust and decay. Their footsteps echoed in the vast, empty halls as they explored the house. The wallpaper was peeling, and old furniture lay covered in white sheets like forgotten ghosts. Despite the eerie atmosphere, they couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all. "Look at this," Emma called from the parlor. She had found an old gramophone. She turned the crank, and a hauntingly beautiful melody filled the room. It was both eerie and enchanting. Ben examined a bookshelf filled with ancient, leather-bound books. "I wonder who lived here," he mused aloud. "No one knows," Lily replied, glancing around nervously. "They say the family vanished overnight." Jake rolled his eyes. "It's probably just a story to scare kids. There's no such thing as ghosts." As the night wore on, the friends settled in the grand hall, spreading out the blankets and sharing snacks. The initial fear had worn off, replaced by laughter and stories. Emma and Jake took turns telling ghost stories, each one trying to outdo the other. And then, Jake said, his voice dropping to a whisper, the ghost appeared behind him. He lunged toward Lily, making her shriek and then burst into laughter. "You're terrible," she said, throwing a pillow at him. Ben chuckled softly, his eyes drifting to the grand staircase that spiraled up into darkness. "What if there's something up there?" he said, half joking. Emma's eyes sparkled with curiosity. Only one way to find out. Despite their initial hesitation, curiosity got the better of them. Flashlights in hand, they climbed the creaking stairs, each step seeming louder than the last. The upper floor was even more dilapidated, with cobwebs hanging like curtains and the floorboards groaning under their weight. At the end of the hall, they found a door slightly ajar. Emma pushed it open, revealing what must have been a child's bedroom. A faded dollhouse sat in the corner, and a rocking chair moved gently, as if stirred by an unseen hand. Lily's heart raced. "Let's go back downstairs," she whispered. But Emma, ever the adventurer, stepped inside. "It's just the wind," she said, though her voice lacked conviction. As they explored the room, Jake found an old diary tucked beneath the bed. The leather cover was worn, and the pages yellowed with age. He opened it, revealing delicate handwriting. "To whoever finds this," he read aloud, "we're trapped. The house won't let us leave." A chill ran down the spines. "It's a prank," Jake said quickly, though his hands trembled. Before they could say more, the door slammed shut behind them. Lily screamed, and Ben rushed to open it, but it wouldn't budge. "Okay, not funny," Emma said, her voice shaking. "I'm not doing it," Jake insisted, pulling at the door. Suddenly, the gramophone downstairs started playing the same haunting melody Emma had found earlier. But no one was there to crank it. Lily clung to Ben, her eyes wide with fear. "We need to get out of here." Emma took a deep breath, trying to steady her nerves. "Stay calm. We'll find another way." As they searched for an exit, they stumbled upon a hidden staircase leading to the attic. Desperate, they climbed it, hoping it would lead to safety. The attic was dark and filled with forgotten memories, trunks of old clothes, faded photographs, and a large mirror covered with a dusty sheet. Jake, ever curious, pulled the sheet away. In the mirror's reflection, they saw not their own faces but the image of a family, a mother, father, and 2 children, trapped and pleading silently. Lily gasped. "It's them. The family that disappeared." The room grew colder, and whispers filled the air. They couldn't make out the words, but the desperation was clear. Emma stepped forward. "What do you want?" she asked, her voice steady despite the fear gripping her heart. The whispers grew louder, swirling around them like a storm. The mirror began to crack, and the family's faces twisted in anguish. "We have to help them," Ben said suddenly. "Maybe that's why the house won't let us go." "But how?" Jake asked, his bravado gone. Emma looked around, her eyes landing on an old locket resting on a nearby trunk. She opened it, revealing a photograph of the family. This must belong to them. As she held the locket, the whispers softened, and the air grew warmer. The family in the mirror smiled, the faces filled with relief. The mirror shattered, and the attic door swung open, revealing a staircase leading back to the front hall. Without hesitation, they ran down the stairs, the house seeming to sigh as they left. They didn't stop until they were back outside, the cool night air filling their lungs. For a moment, they stood in silence, staring at the now quiet manor. Lily broke the silence. "What just happened?" "I think we helped him," Ben said softly. Jake shook his head in disbelief. "I don't know about you, but I'm never doing a dare like that again." Emma laughed, the sound filled with both relief and exhilaration. "Well, we wanted a story, and now we have one." As they walked back to town, the first light of dawn touched the sky, casting a golden glow over Willowsbrick. The manor stood silent, its secret finally laid to rest. And that night when they each drifted off to sleep, their dreams were filled not with fear but with a sense of wonder and the knowledge that sometimes, even in the darkest places, light can be found.